Review. This video is for you. So the three main parts of an intro paragraph. First, we start with our hook. Your hook is really what gets the reader interested. So it could be a quote, it could be a question, it could be a fun fact, anything that's going to make your reader want to read your work. After the hook, we go into some background information. The background information is really just 1 to 2 sentences, and it is what is happening in the book right now. Finally, the most important part of the intro is the claim. The claim is your answer to the question. So if we are going to practice our intro paragraphs, here's a lovely question for you from Module 3. On page 42 of To Kill a Mockingbird, Jem says, Scout, sometimes you act so much like a girl it's mortifying. What does Jem mean by this? And how does Scout react? How do you think this affects Scout's sense of self? So there are a couple different options we could use for our hook. The easiest way is probably just to use the quote that I gave you. You could also ask a question about gender. You could tell a story about yourself. I'm going to go with the easy version using the quote that I gave you. So we're going to start with on page 42 of To Kill a Mockingbird. Jem says, Scout, sometimes you act so much like a girl, it's mortifying. Then we want to give that background info. I would say, for example, multiple times growing up, Scout is made fun of. Oh, let's make that a bit easier to follow. Jem makes fun of Scout because of her gender. Scout's main playmates are Jem and Dill, both boys, and she doesn't really have any female role models since her mother has died. Lovely. Now our reader has lots of info, or at least enough info to be able to follow your argument. Finally, we get to the claim, the most important part. When Jem says acting like a girl is mortifying, he makes Scout question her identity because of her gender, a trait she cannot control. This affects Scout's sense of self because she now feels that being a girl makes her less desirable. So I've answered all parts of the questions here. I'm going to go back and fix that spelling. So I have a sketch of an intro. Now this isn't still an intro yet because my parts are still labeled. So I'm going to get rid of my labels. They're really helpful to help you think through your work, but you don't want them in your final. Now I'm closer, but I'm not quite there. I've got to put this all together into one paragraph. And I'm going to indent my first line. So there's a demo on how to do your intro. We've got the parts of the intro, we've got the question, we've got the example. And if you still have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Remind, PHAELA 8, and then your homeroom.